artists, it's me, Miss Winter, coming to you live from my front door. And why am I at my front door, you may ask? Well, obviously by now you've heard that we won't be able to do our art show in the traditional sense, obviously. But no worries, because we're going to do this beautiful community-wide collaboration of creating a heart and placing it on your door for our Heart Walk, which starts on May 22nd. So I'm here today to show you one option if you want to choose to do this one for your heart. This is a Dale Chihuly inspired heart that I've created. Dale Chihuly is a very famous American glass artist who just creates these incredible installations and really large, intricate pieces of incredible glass work. And glass blowing is actually a very ancient technique that started, I think, in the 1st century BC, around then, a long time ago, let's put it that way, where an artist can take some molten glass, like a bubble of molten glass, place it on the end of the tube, and then blow into the tube to create a bubble. So take a look at this short video. It'll show you some of Dale Chihuly's work in glass blowing, and then meet me on the inside and I'll show you guys how to do this Chihuly inspired glass heart. So see you inside. Okay, so let's talk about what we're going to need for this project. What we need to gather is some paper, ideally a large piece of paper. Remember, we want these hearts to be visible from the street, so we really want them as big and bold as possible. For example, I actually don't have any large paper at home right now, but what I do have is plenty of printer paper. So what I could do to solve that problem is simply lay 4 pieces of printer paper out like this and tape down the seams, tape along here. So now I've got one large piece of paper to form my heart. Don't worry about the seams and the tape, because we'll be gluing the flowers directly over it and it won't even show. So that's one option to get a large piece of paper. The second option is, if you have an empty cereal box, you can simply cut a cereal box open, and now you have a large piece of cardboard to work from to draw your heart and cut out the shape. So remember, big and bold, so make it as large as possible. So just for the purpose of this demonstration, I'm going to use this piece of paper, but I want you to pretend that it's giant, okay? So pretend that this is my big, large piece of paper. All right, so that's the first thing, big, large piece of paper. Second, you're going to need some scissors for cutting. You are going to need some markers, washable markers. Any colors will do. You are going to need some coffee filters. The coffee filters is actually what we use to create the flowers. In some grades, you remember doing these when we made our Chihuly bowls before. Same concept. So we're going to need coffee filters, some starch. Now this is not something you absolutely need. I love to use it because what happens is when I use the starch on the coffee filter, it actually makes them hard, so they stick up in a 3D fashion. If you don't have starch, don't worry about it. I actually bought this one at Marinwood Market, so they do have it in stock right now. But if you don't have starch, don't worry. We're just going to use plain, simple tap water instead. And then the final thing you're going to need is some glue. All right, so gather those supplies and let's get started. So the first step is on my giant piece of paper. Remember, not this size, we want it big. I'm simply going to draw a heart. So the simplest way to draw a heart, you guys, is you can draw a V Notice I'm filling up all of my page. You with your giant paper, I want you to try to fill the whole thing up so you're ending up with a really big heart. And then after my V, I'm simply going to do an M on top like this. And now I've drawn a large heart. Next, I need to cut my heart shape up. I need to cut my heart shape out. That is a tongue twister. Try say that fast. I can hear some of you actually trying to say that fast right now. All right, so I'm cutting out my heart. This is going to be such an exciting project, guys. Can you imagine the entire neighborhood with everyone with hearts on their doors? It's going to be such a beautiful message to the world right now. And that's what we need. We need some love and positivity right now. So I'm so proud of you for doing this. This is going to be a really, really beautiful project. Or beautiful collaboration, should I say. Okay, so I have cut out my heart. Boom. Scraps aside. Here we go. And now I have my heart shape. I'm going to glue my flowers on top of this. So let's talk about how do we make the Chihuly inspired flowers. So that is our next step. I'm going to set this aside. Now for this, we're going to need our coffee filters. You're going to need quite a few of these. So what I do is I take some coffee filters and I layer them on top of each other. They actually come like that anyway. So I have about 3 or 4 here. I'm going to flatten it out like this. And now I'm going to try to cut 2 circles out of this. I don't want to waste the coffee filters too much. So 2 circles as big as I can. So I'm simply going to cut around like this. Does not have to be an exact circle. Not a big deal if it's kind of wonky, totally fine. So I have this batch of circles and now I'm going to make one more. Like this. All right, good. Now I have a bunch of circles and scraps go aside. All right. So I have all of these circles now to use. So simply what I'm going to do, like we did for our Chihuly glass bowls, is I'm going to color them. Now think about the colors that you want to use. Definitely use colors that are going to go nicely together. Like you could do, you could do orange and yellow. You could do red and pink, would look quite nice together. Your heart does not have to be red. You can make it whatever you want. In fact, I think what I'm going to do is the cold colors. I'm going to do purple and blue. So all I do is with each coffee filter, I am simply going to color it. You can do details and decorations. You can do polka dots. You can do honestly anything you want, because what's going to happen is when we put the starch or the water on these, the colors are going to bleed together so it sort of looks like tie-dye. So you don't need to be exact with your coloring. It's really just a matter of getting some color on your various coffee filters. And these colors are going to bleed nicely together. Maybe do a blue one. I'm just going to color it blue as much as I can. These are kind of fiddly to color. So take your time, enjoy the process. You don't have to color both sides because it will bleed through anyway. So I'm really just kind of speeding this up. You get the idea. You can put as much detail into these as you wish. All right. So this will just give you the idea. You would continue going until all of your coffee filters are complete. You're going to need, again, quite a few for this project, depending on the size of your heart. Then the fun part. I'm going to put my markers aside. Don't need my scissors. This is the fun part. I'm going to get some foil and lay it out because I want my coffee filters to dry on the foil. So let me show you how you do this. So once you've colored your coffee filter, if you are using starch, here's how you do it. I'm simply going to get my coffee filter, shake up the starch, Watch this. I'm going to spray it. Oops. See how these colors are now bleeding together nicely? All right, simply spray the starch. Now watch this. I want to fold it in half and in half again. So I have a shape like this. And then I'm going to lay it down to dry. If you do not have starch, again, you can use water. So I'm simply going to dip it in the water. See the way the blue is all bleeding into the white, like this. I'm simply going to fold it over again and let it dry. Sorry, that's my printer in the background. And let it dry like this. And I'm going to continue this for all of my coffee filters. Like so. And lay it out to dry. And there's Julia collecting her printing stuff. Hi, Julia. Say hi.
Hi.
Hi, guys. All right. And there we go. I'm going to continue this process and keep going, laying out all of my little coffee filters to dry like this. And then I'll show you what to do. Once your coffee filters are dry, you're ready to glue them onto your heart shape. So you pick up an individual coffee filter like this. It's got to be a little bit stuck together. So you're going to sort of peel it apart like this. I actually already peeled these, so they're not very stuck, but you'll see what I mean. But just take your time and peel them apart until you have a flat shape like this. Then what I want to do is make it look like a flower. So watch this carefully. I'm going to take my finger. I'm going to push down in the middle while I'm grabbing it here. I'm pinching it here. So I'm going to pinch that little part right here. See, it looks more like a flower. I want it to stay like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to twist a tiny little piece in the middle. At the back where I pinched, I just twisted like this. So now it looks like a poppy or a flower like this. It kind of looks like Chihuly's exhibit that you just saw. There we go. And I'm simply going to start gluing these on. So take another coffee filter. Same thing again, flatten it out. Push my finger, pinch at the back, and twist to create another flower. And again, I would simply glue these on until my entire heart shape is filled in, just using some regular glue. Very easy. So let's just glue one on just to show you guys. There we go. Place some glue and simply glue it on. Remember, you do want to keep the form, the shape of your heart. So make sure you follow the line of your heart when you're gluing these on, like this, and then you would fill in the center. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. Email me if you have any questions or comments, but have fun with this. I think it's a beautiful one, and it's certainly a lovely tribute to Dale Chihuly and his incredible glass blowing art. All right, have fun. I can't wait to see your hearts on your doors. See you later.